HDB has launched the first BTO flats under the new Prime Location Public Housing or PLH model. 960 units of the Rochor BTO project, consisting of 3 and 4-room flats, are up for sale. The flats come with a 6% subsidy clawback clause upon their resale. The launch is a highly anticipated one and is in line with efforts to make living in prime areas accessible to all. The prime location flats sit on 2 land plots along Weld Road and Kelantan Road, directly above the Jalan Besar MRT station. The Rochor units were part of a total of 4,500 BTO flats launched today. They are spread across 9 housing projects in 6 estates in the central area, Choa Chu Kang, Hougang, Jurong West, Kallang Wampo and Tengah. Of these, the flats in Hougang Olive, Park Clover at Tengah and Park Glen at Tengah will have shorter waiting times, with at least 95% of the 4-room and bigger flat types set aside for first-timer families. There is a median waiting time of 4.4 years for the flats to be completed. Journalist Michelle Ng joins me now to share more. Welcome to the show, Michelle. Michelle, let's zoom in on the Rochor PLH flats. A 6% clawback on subsidies when owners resell their homes on the open market for the first time. How significant is this, and is it fair?
It is quite significant because it's the first time that the government is doing something like this. So it kind of sets the stage for the future prime area HDB flats. And I guess this Rochor BTO kind of also is like a pilot to see how Singaporeans take to this new model, and depending on the subscription rates to come in the following week. I think the general consensus is that 6% subsidy clawback seems reasonable. I guess many sellers who are going to sell their flats after their 10-year MOP will probably factor in this 6% into their selling price in the future. But of course, there's also a combined 14K household income cap on resale buyers. So there's also a limit to how much people would be willing to pay for these flats on the resale market. So for example, a 6% subsidy clawback based on let's say a 1.2 million resale price, it would be about $72,000, and that is pretty much the so-called additional subsidy that the government is giving. And but we also got to remember that there's a 10-year MOP and there's a 6-year building time and waiting time for this project. So we are really talking about these flats hitting the resale market in year around 2038. So that's like a really long time.
Michelle, talking about prices, prices start from $409,000 without grants for a 3-room Rochor PLH flat and $582,000 for a 4-room flat. Given its prime location, how do these prices compare with other BTO flats?
I think the prices are pretty much in line with other BTO flats in mature estates. For example, if we compare to the Queenstown BTO that was launched in the previous round in August, 3-room flats were about $382. Then this time round, it's about just slightly more than that. So I think prices are pretty much in line and kind of what we expected to see in line for like a mature estate. Rochor BTO flats, they are on the smaller end. So some people may not know this, but HDB actually has a range of unit size for each flat types. So these Rochor ones are slightly more smaller. For example, a 4-room unit is 88 square meter versus the Queenstown one is about 93, which is on the higher end of this spectrum that HDB has.
So, Michelle, based on the prices, flat size you mentioned, and the clawback subsidy, what do you think the response would be to these Rochor PLH flats? Would buyers be deterred in any way?
Actually, there's quite a lot of buzz on social media at the moment. So I think people generally are very interested in these flats. But I think the 10-year MOP and the long waiting time of 6 years, well, almost 6 years, might put some people off. But I think in general, we will still be looking at quite high demand for this particular BTO purely because it's a central location, and I guess majority of Singaporeans would really like to live in a central location, and you will probably never find any other unit, any other like apartments at this sort of price.
Well, thank you so much, Michelle, for your insights. I've been speaking with journalist Michelle Ng. Visit straitstimes.com for more on the latest BTO sales exercise.